Hey everyone, what is going on? So we are doing more Sinister Cup battles with my friend, a Funky Turtle. You've seen him on the channel before, so first and foremost, thank you for the battles, and we are trying out a Generation 5 Pokemon, Ferrothorn. Trexler did beat me with it in the tournament, not in the Sinister Cup tournament, of course, but in, it was the Season 1 Championships. He beat me in the finals with Ferrothorn, so I was like, you know what, let's give it a try. It is a Steel type, but my opponent is rocking Bronzong, Haunter, Poliwrath, Bastiodon, Alolan Marowak, and Steelix, and my team will be Poliwrath, Dusclops, Drifblim, Steelix, Alolan Marowak, and that Generation 5 Ferrothorn. Now, the thing about Ferrothorn is it's interesting because I wanted a relatively decent counter to Poliwrath, and I think Ferrothorn is okay against Poliwrath. I mean, Poliwrath is super effective with those power-up punches, and it charges up so fast. You won't be taking much of anything from Bubble, but you'll be taking quite a bit of damage if it hits you with power-up punch, especially if it's boosted. So you do have to be careful with that. In no shields, Ferrothorn should win because it can get to that power whip really fast, which is going to do a lot to Poliwrath, if not knock it out. Plus, you also have the Acid Spray to bluff, which is always nice as well. So, you know, if you decide to bluff, that's good, more power to you. So he actually ends up beating me the first game with that Bronzong. So not off to a good start. He does go ahead and win that, but that is okay. We didn't really have a great lead. So we're going to change things up. We're going to lead with this Drifblim, and he is going to lead with Poliwrath. So we're just going to charge up energy. He does go ahead and get off the first move, which I knew was a power-up punch because I knew he didn't have enough for Ice Beam. So I do go ahead for my charge move, which will be that Ominous Wind. We actually get the buff. 10% chance to get the buff. Some of you had been asking me how you get the buff. On certain moves, it's a 10% chance to get the buff, like Ominous Wind, Silver Wind. I mean, it depends on the move. Power-up punch is a guaranteed buff, and Acid Spray guarantees the lowering of defense, which why Ferrothorn could be good, or Ferrothorn. Let me know how you pronounce it, but I pronounce it Ferrothorn. We actually got a double buff with Drifblim, so, you know, at the time being, I'm just like, forget Ferrothorn. I'm just going all in with Drifblim because we have that double buff. We're going to protect Drifblim. We're going to try and sweep. I actually do pull the switch out, though, to my Ferrothorn because I was like, you know what, I want to actually try and win with this Pokemon, so why not? As you can see, we did take a good amount of damage from that power-up punch, and we're going to block this one so we can get off the power whip and beat Poliwrath. But yeah, it's good outside of going up against Poliwrath. It's also good for debuffing Pokemon like Bastiodon and Steelix with the Acid Spray, or it's also good with bluffing if, let's say, they have, I don't know, a Haunter out or something. And like right now, instead of going for the power whip, I could go for the Acid Spray, and we could, and he might shield, right? He might shield, and we'll lower his defense. Not that you necessarily need to lower Haunter's defense, but it's better than nothing. But he switches out to Steelix, and we have the Alolan Marowak, and we go for that Shadow Ball, trying to do as much damage as possible. Bone Club may have been better in this situation. I think it is more energy efficient. I'm not sure, actually. Let me know if I'm wrong about that, but we do bring in this Ferrothorn, and we actually get off the Power Whip, hoping to knock out Steelix at this point. We don't knock him out, so that's unfortunate. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this. Luckily I do because it is an Earthquake. Would have been neutral to us, but it still would have done a good amount of damage. So now he brings in his Haunter, and we're going to let this Shadow Punch go through. And he actually gets off another move, so I am going to let it go through. It is a Shadow Punch, and we're able to take it and get off Acid Spray. So trying to take his last shield as we do. So as you can see, the bluff worked. We lowered his defense, and because we lowered his defense, he was not able to get off another Shadow Punch before we fainted him down with Bubbles from Poliwrath. So Acid Spray definitely coming in handy. Ferrothorn gets other awesome moves like Thunder. It also gets Flash Cannon. I like the moves that I have, Power Whip as well as Acid Spray, but definitely a unique Pokemon. I caught one. It was pretty good for PvP, so I decided, you know what, let's go for it. Let's try it out. It makes for a good video, right? So we're going to block this power-up punch and get off a power-up punch of our own against his Poliwrath. and we'll knock it out. So I did use Ferrothorn in every battle in this video, and after a few battles, I think he realized that, so he's trying to bring counters to Ferrothorn directly. So we lead with Ferrothorn. He does lead with his Bronzong, so definitely not good for us, but we can get the acid spray off. Unfortunately, we can't really bluff this because no move is going to do much from Ferrothorn to that to that Bronzong. So of course he's not going to block it, but at least we lower his defense. So we do get hit with Bulldoze, and then I'm going to pull the switch into Drift Blim, doing a lot of damage thanks to that debuff. We get off a charge move, which is going to be Shadow Ball. So even though we lose this matchup, we are doing a good amount of damage to that Bastiodon with Shadow Ball, and he's not going to shield them. So again, getting off a lot of damage, bringing in that Poliwrath, and we're going to go ahead. We could take both of his moves, Flamethrower, Stone Edge. Poliwrath does not worry about it at all, and I do manage to feint him down before he is able to get off another charge move, and he still has 2 shields. So let's see what happens. Let's see what he decides to bring in. By the way, guys, this is actually a longer video. I think it's about 20 minutes, so bear with me. Grab some popcorn, grab some snacks, maybe watch it while you're doing something. A little bit of a glitch, that animation just went on and on for some reason, but we go for another power up punch against his Haunter, hoping to catch the shield. As we do, he switches into Bronzong. We actually get off another power up punch before we go down against this Bronzong, but he will shield it, which would have knocked out Bronzong, so it was a good shield on his end. We bring in that Ferrothorn. I'm going to go ahead and shield this Bulldoze, and we are just trying to charge up extra energy or knock him out, because this was a very close game. So I'm trying to knock him out with Bullet Seed. We are able to knock him out, and then we try and click on that Power Whip. We are able to get to it, and we knock out Haunter with Ferrothorn. So way to go, Ferrothorn. But as you can see, I like Ferrothorn because I am using Bullet Seed, by the way, as my fast move, but I do like it because it charges up its charge moves really fast. So I do think it's a good Pokemon, and it's definitely a lot of fun. So he leads with Bastiodon, definitely has to switch out. I switch into my Alolan Marowak. I am going to go ahead and shield this, and he goes ahead and fires a Shadow Ball. I believe this is the first time he used Shadow Ball against me with Haunter. I could be wrong about that, but now I realize he has a Shadow Ball Haunter, which I really want, by the way. But anyway, finally realizing he has it, and we do go for the Shadow Ball against Bastiodon. Again, maybe Bone Clubs are the way to go, but I went for the Shadow Ball. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Poliwrath and get off a Power Up Punch against his Bastiodon. He does shield it because he has a charge move, but these charge moves don't do a whole lot to Poliwrath. I'm able to take them, so that's fine with me. I'm glad to take his shield. He does switch into his Alolan Marowak, and I actually click on the Ice Punch before I see what comes in. So Power Punch would have been better because we would have boosted Bubble, but it's okay. We're going to go for Power Punch. He actually decides to block that, and he will get off a charge move, and I will block this one. It is Shadow Ball because I was pretty confident I could knock out that Marowak before he's able to get to like a Bone Club. So we do get off a Power Punch, and we do knock it out, and he switches into Bastiodon. I switch into my Ferrothorn, and it's actually ironic. He gets off a Flamethrower, and I thought this would knock me out, but it actually doesn't. We do survive, not by much, but we do survive, and we get off a Power Whip. We would have come in and knocked it out with Bubble anyway, but it was pretty interesting. Definitely pretty interesting, but it's good to know if I'm at full health, I can survive a Flamethrower from a Bastiodon. I didn't know that. But anyway, he leads with Haunter, I lead with my Ferrothorn. I'm going to switch out right away into my Drift Blim. He switches into his Bastiodon, so I will go for my charge move right now. Shadow Ball. Again, we do lose this matchup, but at least we're doing quite a bit of damage. Couldn't get to the Ominous Wind. I was trying to click on it, but it wasn't able to happen. Or it wouldn't happen. I do bring in my Poliwrath, and he is going to go for the Stone Edge. But again, you guys know we could take moves from Bastiodon. I am trying to do a lot of damage to him. Charge up enough for another Power Up Punch. So I do go for my charge move. He does shield. I'm going to go ahead and shield right now. We would have survived it, but I decided to shield. He brings in his Haunter. I'm actually going to shield again. I think that was a switch. Yeah, it was a switch. But I go for the Ice Punch to try and knock out the Haunter. And he will allow Haunter to go down. And then he brings in his Bastiodon. And I immediately click on the Power Up Punch before seeing what comes in. But it is that Bastiodon. And then he brings in Bronzong. And I'm going to switch to my Ferrothorn. And this is a little bit of a problem because my moves do not do much against Bronzong. Ferrothorn doesn't. And my Poliwrath is going to be eaten alive by Confusion. So really not super well. I try to lower his defense and get to a Power Whip. And we actually are able to get to another Acid Spray. I probably should have went for a Power Whip. I thought I did, actually. I think that was in another game. That's why I thought I went for the Power Whip. But he does hit me with Psy Strike, and then we bring in Poliwrath, and he knocks me out. So I thought I was going to win that game, but yeah, the two Pokemon I had were not good against his Bronzong. So he does go ahead and pull that one up. So that's fine. So we're going to lead with Poliwrath. He switches into Haunter. I am going to go straight for that Power Up Punch and hope to catch a shield as we do. So I'm going to pull the switch into my Dusclops. And I do go ahead and block this. It happens to be a Shadow Ball, so it's good that we blocked it because I didn't want to take that damage. We would have been knocked out. Not with the Shadow Ball, I don't think, but after like the fast moves. Gonna go ahead and go for the Shadow Punch against his Bastiodon. I wasn't sure what was better, Shadow Punch or Fire Punch. So I will go for the Fire Punch now. I think I switched back and forth, yeah, we're not doing a lot to this Bastiodon, but that's okay. Now I get off one last Shadow Punch, and I will, the damage adds up, right? I mean, it's nothing crazy, but it does add up. So I'm going to go ahead and take this charge move, which will be Stone Edge, and then we will go ahead and get off a Power Up Punch against his Bastiodon. He will opt to shield that one, and I'm going to go ahead and shield this because I was confident that I would be able to finish him off, but he does switch. So I'm going to pull the switch into my Ferrothorn, and this is where Ferrothorn is going to beat Poliwrath because he does go for the Ice Punch. I was actually expecting the Power Up Punch. That would have been the correct play to go for the Power Up Punch. Maybe he didn't realize that I brought in Ferrothorn, but I will go for my Power Whip, which will... I don't think this knocks it out. Actually, it does. Excuse me, it does knock it out. I guess it would. I don't know. If it's at full health, I don't think it knocks it out. But we go for a Power Whip against his Bastiodon right now, and that will finish Bastiodon. And we will go ahead and take that game. So definitely a lot of fun using Ferrothorn. Continue your suggestions, guys. Some people are still continuing to suggest other Pokemon that I use for the Sinister Cup, and I will continue to suggest them. I don't think anyone suggested Ferrothorn, but I just wanted to try it out just because it's a new Pokemon and it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun to use. I will be having my finalized team video probably at the end of the week. My early finalized team video, I should say. I mean, things could always change, but... yeah, we will be having that soon, but right now we have a Drifblim going for the Shadow Ball, and he is just trying to farm me down. I do go ahead and go for another charge move. Gonna be that Ominous Wind, and we go down. He does farm me up. I do bring in the Poliwrath, of course, and he's gonna go for his charge move. Flamethrower Stone Edge, we can take it. It will be that Stone Edge. And then I do go ahead and continue to farm, but unfortunately he is able to get to another charge move before we knock him out with Bubble, but that's okay because we have a lot of energy ready to go. He does bring in Bronzong though, so not looking super great for my Poliwrath. I do go ahead and switch into Ferrothorn. This time I do believe I go for the Acid Spray as I do, and then I think I go for the Power Whip on the next one. I think this is the game I was referring to. I'm not sure. Maybe it's not because maybe he just knocks me out. No, he doesn't knock me out. So I thought the Bulldoze was coming. Yeah, so I do go for the Power Whip. So this is the game I do go for the Power Whip. And doing a decent amount of damage after that Acid Spray. And then we bring in my Poliwrath and go for the Power Up Punch. And he actually doesn't shield that, guys. He should have definitely shielded that because I blocked this Shadow Punch. And then I'm able to feint his Haunter with Bubbles. And he doesn't use any shields. If he shielded that, he would have won that game. So I'm not really sure why he didn't shield it. Unless he glitched, but he didn't mention it. But either way... He should have won that one, but we do go ahead and win it. But for this game, I do bring in Poliwrath, he brings in Haunter, he brings in his Steelix, but I do go for the Power Up Punch. He was probably trying to catch the Ice Punch, but I do go for the Power Up Punch, and so that's definitely good for us. We go for another Power Up Punch against the Steelix. That will be met with a shield, and we actually get off another one. So I guess he's charging up a lot of energy, maybe going for the Earthquake. Let's see. I am going to go ahead and shield it because I don't want to take any chances. So we do shield that one, and then we knock out the Steelix just fine. So he does bring in his Haunter, and I go for the Ice Punch right now, trying to knock it out right away. We do knock it out. Then he brings in Bastion, and I'm going to go for the Power Up Punch. So Poliwrath really doing a lot of work against his team, doing a lot of damage as well, and we do actually feint him with Bubbles with like 1 HP. So we swept his team with Poliwrath, didn't even need Ferrothorn, even though we had it in the back, because as you know, just using Ferrothorn for every game, because I am focusing on Ferrothorn for this video. So I will lead with my beautiful shiny Steelix, and he leads with his Bronzong. So definitely favorable for me. We get off the crunch against his Bronzong. He will opt to shield that. He gets off a charge move. I'm going to go ahead and let it go through. It is a Side Strike, so definitely trying to bluff me, but it doesn't work. He does switch into his Alolan Marowak, which is still good for me because I'm going to go for the crunch, and that does a good amount of damage. We're going to go ahead and let this move go out or go through. It is a Bone Club, so we're able to take it. And do I shield this one? No, I don't. I actually let it go through. I thought I shielded it. So we do go down. I bring in Poliwrath, and then we're able to get off the Power Up Punch against him. I was going to try and feint him with Bubbles. I thought he would get to his charge move, but I guess it still would have been okay if he did. So I pull the switch from my Poliwrath into Ferrothorn to catch the Side Strike. So he switches into his Haunter, and I am going to go for the Power Whip. Now this does not knock out Haunter, but he's going to shield it anyway. And we go ahead, and since we have 2 shields, I am going to go ahead and shield this Shadow Punch because I was confident I could get to another Power Whip. So I am going to shield this as well. And we do get to the Power Whip, but again, I believe that the Haunter does survive it because it does resist this Power Up Punch. Yeah, it does survive it. We do knock it out, but we're still in trouble because Bronzong is going to be able to knock us out with Confusion, and now we have Poliwrath, and we're not going to be able to take it, the Side Strike, so we do go down. We do lose that one. So we lose that game, so that was a good game. So we're going to go ahead and jump into another one. Are you still with me, guys? Let me know if you're still with me. I know it's a long video. I didn't realize we were just battling late into the night last night. We're just having a lot of fun. He knew I was trying for a video. I do go straight for the Earthquake, hoping that he would think it was a bluff, and that's what happens because he does not shield, so that was good for us. We're going to go ahead and shield this Flamethrower because we're in a pretty good position, or in a great position, actually. I do go for the Crunch. I wasn't sure if I could knock him out before he got to Flamethrower with charge moves, and we're actually able to because we knock him out after he shields. He probably thought he could get to a Flamethrower, but he brings in Bronzong. We are going to go for that Crunch right away, and he will shield that one up. And now he is out of shield, so we're in a really good position because we get off another Crunch, not having to worry about shields. And I just want to get rid of that Bronzong because we have Ferrothorn and Poliwrath in the back. And we're going to shield this up and try to get to another Crunch as we do. So we do go ahead and get to that Crunch so we can knock out the Bronzong and we don't have to worry about that. And he brings in Haunter. I'm going to switch immediately into my Ferrothorn, and he actually gets off his charge move, which is going to be Shadow Ball. So it does knock out Ferrothorn, but that is okay. We're going to bring in Steelix again. The only reason I switched to Ferrothorn, I was trying to just knock him out with Ferrothorn because that's what the video is focused on, and I knew we were in a comfortable position. So, yeah, we do go ahead and take that game. So really fun game, really fun game. So we have another one, of course. Is this the last game? We'll have to see. I lead with my Dustclops. He does lead with his Bronzong. So we do have Feint Attack on Dustclops. Some of you had been asking me Hex or Feint Attack. I am trying out Feint Attack. I do like Feint Attack. I actually haven't tried out Hex. So if one of you have tried it out, let me know how it works. But I do have Feint Attack right now on my Dustclops. And we knock out his Haunter. He brings in his Bronzong, and I do go straight for the Shadow Punch. He will go ahead and opt to shield that. And we're trying to get to another one. As we do, we are able to get to it. So we get off the Shadow Punch. He will shield that because he wants to survive it. And then he knocks us out, which is fine. Now we do have that Poliwrath and Ferrothorn in the back, of course. But we don't have to worry as much because this is a very weak Bronzong. And we have 2 shields. And I know we could take the Bulldoze as we do. So he actually goes for another charge move. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this one. It is a Side Strike though. So nice bluff on his end. And then we do charge up a little bit of extra energy and go for the Power Whip right now, which will knock out Bronzong. And his final Pokemon is that Poliwrath. And we actually get off Power Whip. And I do believe he survives this. That's why I was talking about earlier. Yeah, he does survive it. But that's okay. We go for the shield right now to protect my life. And then we do finish him off with our fast move. And that will be it for this video, guys. I will see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.